Whale Gets Stuck by Charles Fuge and Karen Hales. It was midsummer in the Arctic. The sun shone all day and all night, and the sheet of ice that had covered the sea all through the winter was melting and breaking into small islands. Whale loved the open sea. He dived down into the deep, dark water. Then he turned, thrust his tail as hard as he could, and swam back up to the bright surface. "Look at me!" Whale cried as he leapt out of the water. Fish looked up at Whale and quickly swam aside. He didn't want Whale to land on top of him. But slap! Whale landed right in the middle of an ice patch, and struggled as he might, he was stuck fast. "What am I going to do now?" he sputtered. Just then a group of animals arrived to help out. "Don't worry," said Walrus. "We'll soon have you back in the water." "Dolphins," he bellowed, "tip the ice from underneath, and I will lever Whale off the ice with my magnificent toss." But Whale didn't move an inch. "I know," Puffin squawked to the other birds. "Let's lift him up instead." The birds flew up and perched on top of Whale. "Ouch! Stop!" shrieked Whale as the birds tried to grip his slippery skin with their sharp claws. "It wouldn't work," he sighed sadly. "I'm stuck here forever." Everyone gathered around Walrus, hoping that he would have a bright idea. Meanwhile, under the water, Fish couldn't see what was happening up above, and he was getting worried. Why hadn't Whale come back below the water to see him? By now, a group of polar bears and seals had arrived to see what all the fuss was about. "That's it," said Walrus excitedly. "You seals can help push, while I lever Whale with my magnificent toss, and the dolphins tip the ice. That should do it." So the seals pushed, Walrus strained, and the dolphins tipped, but it was no good. Whale was still stuck fast. Poor Whale began to sob quietly. Suddenly, Narwhal appeared. If Whale leapt on the ice, then he must be able to leap off again. Perhaps he just needs a little jab from underneath, he smiled. He aimed his sharp tusk at the dark shadow above, thrust his tail, and thump! Narwhal's tusk wasn't quite long enough. Whale was still stuck, and Narwhal got a nasty bump on his nose. Meanwhile, Walrus had another plan. "If the polar bears leap onto the edge of the ice and the dolphins tip the underside, then I will lever Whale with my magnificent toss while the seals push." So the polar bears leapt, the dolphins tipped, Walrus strained, the seals pushed, the ice moved slowly, tipped up, pointed toward the sky, and then splash! It fell back into the water, and a huge wave swept everyone clean off the ice. Everyone, that is, except Whale. As the day went on, the sun got hotter and brighter, and Whale was still stuck. The animals pushed and shoved until finally they gave up and lay hot and panting on the cool ice. Deep in the water, Fish peered upwards, and this time he could see exactly what was going on. The heat of the sun and the hot, weary animals had begun to melt the ice. Fish could see that the ice was very thin. Above the surface, the tired animals had not noticed the creaking and cracking all around them until crunch! All the animals were plunged right back into the sea, including Whale. Whale was just about to leap out of the water with joy when, "Whale, no!" cried Fish. Whale remembered that his friend was still waiting for him, so with a slap of his tail, he dived under the water. And the two friends spent the rest of the day splashing beneath the surface together.